We have a new character for the Captain Courage mythos coming up, meeting Matthew Prayer.
Cero squabbles with the gatos.
Welcome back to Salazar Art Nation. This is Frank, and today, Sunday, February 18th, 2024, I created a character this morning, roughly between 9 to 9:30 a.m. I created a character called Matthew Prayer. He's a private Matthew Prayer or private prayer, and he is part of the Captain Courage story, part of the mythos. You don't know who Captain Courage is? He's a that's Captain Courage. So he's a hero of sorts. His most of his powers are tech based. It's his gauntlet, and he is a military soldier, but he's also from the past, and he ended up in our present time. Uh, the aid of this gauntlet, he can't go back. Private Prayer is someone that he met in the past in his time in the military. So that's Captain Courage, a little bit of Captain Courage, a little bit of a time shenanigans going on there. And Private Prayer was uh, officially created today, this day, but I already had a concept of a similar character or similar type of characters. Uh, but today, Private Prayer was born. 2000, February 18th, 2024. 2024. So he came from a sermon today. Today being Sunday, I went to church. Sunday morning, we have a men's class at 9, and we had a visiting pastor, and he was talking about the importance of corporate prayer and private prayer. He specifically said this line, "The power of private prayer," and I thought that is great. That needs to be a character. So while taking notes, do I have my notebook? Well, it's somewhere. While taking notes, I found a little blank sketch card, and oh, great. So I penciled uh, uh, I penciled Private Prayer, and then I had my ballpoint pen and I inked them. So this is the original sketch before it got colored in. So right there. So this is the image that I'm going to be just redrawing or going over or touching up uh, and redoing that on my tablet. So, and this is the colored version. So this card I'm actually going to be giving to the pastor today. Going back for evening service, and I'm gonna give him this card and tell him that he inspired this character. And I'm also going to be giving him uh, this mini comic of Captain Courage, Armor of God. So I can have that. I was thinking maybe I should include Captain Courage, but that might be too much. I don't know. It might be too much information because I would have to explain who Captain Courage is. But at least this. I think this would be a nice gift. So the scripture that the pastor used was Matthew 6:6, but that verse specifically is what inspired Private Prayer along with that line.
This is future editing, Frank. I meant to say along with that line.
That the pastor said. He said that, and he said this scripture. So I'm going to put the scripture up here, Matthew 6:6, in case you wanted to know. Uh, And I named him Matthew Prayer because of the book of Matthew. And that's where the verse came from, Matthew 6:6. That's the verse that inspired it. Oh, and you probably won't be able to see it very clearly here. You see his name tag, it's very small and the ink kind of bleeds and spreads a little bit. But I took another piece of this card material. Actually, I have it here. Watercolor paper. I cut it out, made a little name tag, glued it on there, so it does look like a little patch name tag just kind of sticking out. So a little bit of a 3D effect. So yes, and he is holding a Bible. So we're gonna get to that drawing. Let's get. This has been a long intro just to get to to some art. So let's meet Matthew Prayer.
Here we have Matthew Prayer. That's Private Matthew Prayer. This is the original sketch that I did. I'm just going over it with just some digital brushes. This is one of my favorite brushes that I like to use. It's a pen brush. I think it's a quill brush, to be more specific. But about Matthew Prayer himself, he is named after the scripture, but he's also named after my son, my second son, Matthew. Even though he does share a name with my son, he's not a representation of my son. They share the same name, and that's pretty cool. Now, Matthew Prayer himself, he's young. He's somewhere between 18 to 20. I wanted to keep him young. That's why I rounded out his face. He joined the military, he joined the army, and that's where he met Captain Courage. They serve in the same platoon. I also drew a rough sketch, a close-up of his face, and I removed the cap. So this is more or less what he looks like without the cap. Like I said, he's a young man, just joined the military. And will he make friends? He might make friends with Captain Courage.
That was Private Prayer. I turned the sketch card into the illustration that you see now. The illustration you just saw me working on. And this one is going to a new home. And the Private Prayer concept art, it's going to go into a folder, and I'm going to revisit that folder, those characters. I'm going to be working on the Captain Courage story. I do think it's time I tell his origin a little bit better. So that's the story I'm going to be working on. No promises of when that's going to be done or when I'm even going to start majority of the work, but it is in the works. This has been Frank Salazar with Salazar Art Nation. I hope you liked this video. So make comics, not excuses, and stay creative. We'll see you next time.
Settle squabbles with the goggles, battle like full throttle. Bugs to gobble, don't have to ask. She puts on the mask to face each task, ready to face an attack, won't come in last.